Have you ever wondered what really happened before the history books we know?
For too long, our story has been told by others. But what if there's a different truth waiting to be discovered?
Hey Tim, quick question. What makes us Filipino?
Adobo or karaoke or might be amazing nature or Filipino type?
But what if I told you that over a century ago, our entire sense of identity was almost deleted? For centuries, our history wasn't written by us. It was written by Spanish chroniclers. And their version? Let's just say it was biased.
Bias? How? What did it say?
This book by Antonio de Morga was one of the big ones. It basically painted our ancestors as uncivilized that they needed saving.
What? No way! We had our own culture, our own trade, our own baybayin.
Aha! That's exactly it, Zai. And one man knew that. He wasn't just a novelist. He was our first great historical fact checker. Fact checker!
Wait. Is that Rizal?
The one and only. While in Europe, Rizal didn't just write novels. He went on a quest. He found this exact book in the British Museum in London and realized this wasn't just a history book. It was a colonial narrative. Alright, team. To understand Rizal's identity hack, we first need to meet the man who wrote the original file. This is Antonio de Morga. He wasn't just a tourist. He was a top official here for 10 whole years. He saw everything.
So when he left, he wrote a tell-all book?
Exactly. In 1609, he published this book, Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. It was super detailed. It had battles, trade, customs, everything.
Okay, so it's a history book. What's the problem? Sounds useful.
That's the catch. It was useful, but it was a one-sided story.
What do you mean one-sided?
Think of it this way. Morga's Sucesos was like a best ship ever reviewed. Spaniards as heroes, Filipinos as people waiting to be saved. The version ruled for centuries until Jose Rizal entered the chat. While studying in the British Museum, Rizal found Sucesos and had an aha moment. It showed only the Spanish myth. The Filipino voice was missing. Okay guys, I have shared you the files. You're all reading Morga's Sucesos right now. What's the vibe? What's it saying about our ancestors?
I'm reading the part about our pre-colonial civilization. He's not just describing it, he's totally misrepresenting it. He uses this civilizing mission language to make it sound like we were just sitting in the dark waiting for them. He implies there was no real government, no laws. He makes our ancestors sound primitive and disorganized. And he's basically saying that because our way of life wasn't Spanish, it was inferior. He calls us uncivilized. He's completely ignoring our own systems of trade, our own laws, and our own culture.
False.
Our civilization was already strong. Morga saw us as a colony. I saw us as a nation. We had systems of government. Our barangays had their own laws and practiced diplomacy.
Okay, squad, you've seen Morgan dismiss our laws and our civilization. But let's talk about the scale of this project. How much work did Rizal actually do?
I'm looking at the numbers. His annotations. There are no less than 639 items. That's almost 2 annotations for every single page. He even annotated Morga's typos. Who does that? He was obsessed with getting every single detail correct.
Guys, I think I found the weirdest part. Morga is describing our food. He says they prefer to eat saltfish which begin to decompose and smell. Ew! He's saying our ancestors loved eating rotted fish?
Okay, that's just a low blow. He's not just getting our history wrong. He's insulting our food. How did Rizal even respond to that?
639 times. 639 times I had to correct the record. Not even these typographical errors escaped my time. Let me be clear. The fish that Morgan mentions does not taste better when it is beginning to rot. It is bagoong.
Next up, when you see Intramuros or the big stone churches, who do you think built them?
The Spanish, right? They brought engineering and architecture.
Yeah, Morga writes about force and travel like it was a purely Spanish creation.
A convenient omission. Who do you think laboring to build those ships, churches, and fortifications? Filipinos! And even before we arrived, the Cana Foundry in Lamay showed advanced metal work. We were the builders.
Okay, but what about culture, art, literature? The friars claimed it was all just pagan nothingness.
Yeah, Morga barely mentions any native literature. It's like he thought our culture was a blank slate.
A blank slate? No, we had epic songs, poetry, and oral histories. We had people who memorized and chanted our history, but the friars labeled it pagan and destroyed it. They erased our past, including our roots from Sumatra. We had extensive trade relations.
Let's talk about the economy, the galleon trade. Spain made us rich, right?
That's the popular story. That they developed us and connected us to the world.
Developed? No, they drained us. The Philippines was rich and self-sufficient before colonization. Our gold, our silk, our resources were taken to enrich Spain. We paid for their wars. We paid the salaries of their officials. Spain gained wealth, while our people suffered depopulation, slavery, and poverty.
Alright, Tim, let's talk about the biggest justification for the entire colonization project, religion. The Spanish chroniclers paint this beautiful picture of Christianization, right?
That's the truth. They make it like this massive, successful mission. Like all of the islands just joyfully converted and found salvation. It's all about faith. They make it sound so pure, like it was a gift. But I'm reading the fine print and it doesn't feel like a gift.
Exactly. They make it sound like baptism, just like meant faith. But what did it really mean to our ancestors on the ground?
This was their greatest preoccupation. They wrote of faith, but they practiced tolerance. My annotations had to expose this profound hypocrisy. First, this idea of total Christianization was a myth. Many groups, like the Moros, Igorots, and Negritos, resisted and were never fully converted. Second, for the most people, conversion wasn't about faith, it was forced. Baptism became a way to control Filipinos, turning them into subjects of Spain and under the power of the friars.
Hi, things are getting heavy. Okay, next topic, the conquest. The story we're often told is that Spain with its mighty conquistadors, just took over the entire Philippines in huge epic war.
Yeah, that's the narrative, right? A few hundred brave Spaniards conquered millions.
But I'm reading Morga's own account, and it doesn't sound like that. He mentions alliances and treaties, like with Magellan and Tupas. So, it wasn't a total conquest?
But the real cause of colonization, far more Filipino blood was shed than Spanish, because in Spain's wars, Filipino fought for Spain. The truth is, many parts of these islands, Cebu, Panay, Luzon, were not truly conquered by force alone. They came under Spanish rule through alliances, treaties, and by turning Filipino leaders against each other.
Alright, another major fact check, team. The Spanish chroniclers constantly wrote about two things: pacifying the islands and fighting off Moro pirates.
I'm reading about the pacification of Cagayan. It sounds nothing like peace. It sounds like the Spaniards used deceit and division to win. And they constantly paint the Moros as these evil pirates. They describe these raids, like the one in 1599, as just random bloodthirsty attacks.
Yeah, and they call any Filipino who fights back a traitor. I'm reading about a leader named Ubal who killed a Spanish commander, and Morgan's text basically calls him a traitor.
A traitor? Ubal was traitor to whom? He was not a subject of Spain. He owed no loyalty to the invaders. He was a patriot, defending his homeland.
So after all this, what's the Morga version of our story?
That we were idolatrous savages. No laws, no art, no honor. Waiting to be saved.
And that is the lie I sought to expose. The pre-colonial Filipinos was already civilized and advanced. My goal was to prove, using their own history, that our civilization was not a gift from Spain.
And that's a wrap. We saw how Rizal fact-checked Morga on our culture, laws, women, industry, and history. So, what's the real value of his work?
In fact, it wasn't just a comment section. His notes, backed with citations, revealed our true identity and proved, using a Spanish source, that we were already advanced before Spain came.
But why? Why go all through that trouble? 639 annotations, the years in the museum. What was his noble purpose?
I did it for you. In my preface, I wrote my only wish. If this book succeeds to awaken your consciousness of our past, already effaced from your memory, and to rectify what has been falsified and slandered, then I have not worked in vain. And with this as a basis, however small it may be, we shall be able to study the future.
He didn't just give our past back.
He gave us a foundation for our future.
He taught us to question the narrative to know our roots, and to remember that our identity was never given to us. It is something we've always had.
Don't just accept the history you're given. Question it. Dig deeper. Just like Rizal, be the fact-checker of our generation. Know your story, know your worth, and then go out and build that future. Thanks for joining our adventure. See you next time!